Oh, right.
Okay, it's 10 o'clock. Okay, hello, welcome to Anison Armageddon 98. I am Brian Smith from the podcast Dynamite in the Brain, and these are my panel. First up we have my co-host, Anthony Askew.
Hello everyone.
Good morning.
We have Eddie, aka Bizarre Jelly 5 on YouTube. We have Niall Flanagan from the Secret of the Sailor Madness podcast. And then we have some of our occasional guests, Leon Everett, Greg Driver, and Gary Hedges. And we are going to be showing you 10 clips of anime songs from 1998, the year in which Ayacon began. So what was happening in 1998 at the weekend of Ayacon, October 23rd to the 25th? Well, on the Sunday, Cher's Believe went to #1, and I think it may still be there. And Richard Bacon had just been sacked from Blue Peter for taking cocaine. Okay, let's get to know the panel a bit. Anthony, we'll run down Anthony down to Gary.
Hello everyone.
I was going to ask you, what was the last anime you each watched?
What do you want? Cat Planet Cuties.
It's
alright.
Anthony,
Yeah.
do you want to try and speak into the microphone?
Yeah, yeah, and that does help. Yeah, the last thing I watched was Cat Planet Cuties. It's about like alien cat girls and alien dogs and stuff like that. It's not very good, but it's I bought the DVDs, God knows why.
Ebby, how about you?
I guess the last thing I finished, I'm holding this, is that what you want? I guess the last thing I finished probably would have been Kids on the Slope. Because I'm behind on everything seasonal, so that's pretty much that, I think.
Okay, how about you, Niall? What was the last thing you watched? Doesn't have to be the last thing you finished, the very last thing you watched.
The very last thing I watched was episode 3 of Get Your Man Crowds. That's a quality program right there, I must say, because anytime I'm watching that, I'm always like gritting ear to ear from start to finish. It's a good show, so I'm watching if you're a good person.
That's correct, everyone should watch Get Your Man Crowds. Okay, how about you, Leon?
The last thing I watched that I hadn't seen before was Kids on the Slope.
Greg?
Last thing I watched, like probably a large percentage of it, was Attack on Titan.
Sick of hearing about that show. God.
Well, thankfully this is 1998, so I will not be playing it again. And how about you, Gary?
I think the last thing I watched was actually Tiger and Bunny.
Okay, and now let's get some sort of perspective on the minds of our panel when 1998 was occurring. How old were each of you? I was 23.
I was 10. Is that right? God, 10, yeah, definitely 10.
I was 7.
Me too.
I was a spry young lad of like 11 years of age, probably busy playing outside, hitting up my friends with sticks out in the field somewhere, rather than watching being stinging indoors watching cartoons. How would time have changed, huh?
I was 13, we were playing Resident Evil 2 and looking Final Fantasy.
I was 11 and I had a lot of Pokemon cards.
I was 18, so I forget what I was doing. Failing college.
Okay, and also, anyone in the audience who was at the very first Ayacon? Are you celebrating it, John, by trying to stay awake for the entire weekend this time? Yeah, that was the year you hadn't booked a room.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I was trying to celebrate. Yeah. And Red Bull is still on the market. Okay, on with the songs. Our first one is by a band called the Seatbelts. Yeah, taken from the TV show Cowboy Bebop. That's by the Seatbelts. It's called Tank. According to the sleeve notes, they got their name from having to wear seatbelts for safety during their jam sessions because they rock too hard. Okay, I'm going to ask the panel what they think of it and give marks out of 10, and then we'll ask our audience jury to hold up green or red cards, whether it's green for thumbs up, red for thumbs down, and then that will be their mark out of 10, depending on how many greens go up. And then if there's like a big discrepancy, like one person puts red up, and it's not here, so that's going to be a problem, then we'll ask the audience member, why are they the only one who disliked it, or why are they the only one who liked it, or if there's like, we'll see how it goes. We'll get the audience involved. Anyway, first up, Anthony, what do you think of this old song?
Well, part of me dies and goes to heaven every time I hear this. I must have listened to this like a million times. I've aired saxophone. Is it a saxophone? I've aired saxophone.
The audience says saxophone, yes.
Well, that's obviously true. Yeah, I love this. 10 out of 10. I think we can all go home now and agree that this is just the best. Best show, best intro, yeah.
Evie.
As I told you yesterday, I've never seen Cowboy Bebop. Actually, I know.
Controversy.
It's one of those things that I've just never seen, and I know I need to.
Would that make you want to see it?
No. I don't know, it's just not my thing, I guess. It's not that it's a bad song, it's just not interesting to me. Sorry. I know that we're not friends anymore now.
How many out of 10?
6.
Okay.
Sorry.
Niall.
Yeah, I'd say everybody, even though they may not have seen the show, has certainly probably heard that song at some point in their life. Because is that like the most carried opening?
No, Attack on Titan now is.
Yeah, man, this song also we get psyched up. I remember this played that song, that video, out any context on like Cartoon Network, when we're trying to promote that show, and it was all I needed to get me into that show, and it's still like a belter to this day, and I'd like that's a solid 10. This panel might be a little bit rigged. Yeah.
Okay, over to you, Leon.
Well, it's like on the recent episode where we were voting on Dynamite and Brain, where we were voting what was the best intro, hands down.
It was like half a year ago.
Like 2 months ago.
So a couple of months ago.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely the best. I mean, even if the anime preceding the intro was about like politics and like tea, you'd still be hyped to watch it, watching the intro.
About to get behind anyway.
And like, you gotta admit, you do dance a little bit every time the intro's on, so.
Hell yeah.
10 out of 10. Airbomb goes.
Okay, Greg.
You can't ask me to put a number on that.
I am.
Just did.
Oh, well, I'll give it an 8 then. But I really like it though. It's just the whole Ooz's Corners thing, old jazz, double bass, it's just like several kinds of wonderful.
How about you, Gary?
It's catchy, it's funky, you can dance to it, it gets you hyped. And it's one of those intros that when you're watching the series, every episode you watch the intro, you never skip it. It's got to be watched every time because it gets you hyped. 10 out of 10.
Okay. Audience, put up your cards. It's a resounding 10 out of 10 from the audience as well.
Well played. You won't reach the pounds yet.
Okay, who remembers Eurobeat? That's the first theme to Initial D, Around the World by Move. If we'd had parties at IO 1998, that was probably what it would have sounded like. And when we eventually did have parties, that was what it sounded like. Okay, let's start from the other end this time. Gary.
Actually, I was into Eurobeat around that time, just because I got shown it a lot by friends. So I actually quite like that track. 'Cause it's quite catchy, and I quite like the rapping on it. It reminds me a little bit of Teriyaki Boys, which are the Japanese group that I quite like. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Okie doke. Over to you, Greg.
6.
Any opinions?
My opinion is I'm not massively into dance music, really, so it's just totally not my thing. I mean, yes, it's good, but it's just totally not my thing.
Okie doke. Leon.
No, Eurobeat always reminds me of like the first cons I used to come to like Friday at 2 o'clock when everyone went to go to bed. That's when you hear Eurobeat. But it's a bit nostalgic sounding. It reminds me like when I check out my J music from time to time, like, oh yeah, this is what it sounded like then. Still don't like it. So 5 minutes, 5.
5, okay. Over to you, Niall.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody noticed before, show all about cars, they sure look pretty bad. As an ugly, ugly show. But as far as the song goes, man, it's kind of... I wasn't like a big Eurobeat guy, you know, doesn't really kind of grab me and such, you know, but I forgot about that song pretty much as soon as it was over now. Except for the part where they say, now we go full speed and funky beat. That's pretty good, but besides that, not so much, and the kind of animation is a bit distracting because it's pretty ugly looking, so I'll give that a 5.
Okay. Abby?
I actually kind of like this song. It's not something that I would usually listen to like outside of an opening, I don't think. But I just love it when Japanese people put English in their songs. I think it's so good. So, I don't know, I'd give this a 7, I think.
Okay. Anthony?
Very generous scores, I think, from everyone. And any show about cars, Top Gear, load of trollop. So yeah, don't like that. I never want to see that again. No, I don't want to hear it again. I just banging around, too noisy. It's too early for that kind of music. It was too early in '98.
Can you imagine an anime version of Clarkson?
If you look on Pixie, that's where you'll find some anime versions of Clarkson. It's Top Gear fan art out there.
Yeah, it's just a 3. It's a
3.
Amiga 3.
Okay, over to the audience.
Amiga 3.
Around the world. 1, 2, 3. A 3 out of 10. Okay. Anthony, you want to ask one of the green cars with 10 mic?
You want a green?
Yeah.
Why do you like that?
Anthony, you have to get up and give them the mic.
Oh, yes. Get the logistics of this. Sorry.
Whilst it's obviously not the best Eurobeat song in the show, I just really enjoy it. It's obviously, like you said, the animation, the output's terrible, a bit distracting. But it's kind of something that gets you upbeat, awake. It's nice.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, on to our next one. This is by a band called Penicillin, and it's called Romance. Yeah, so who knows Sexy Commando? You're my kind of people. Yeah, this is the theme tune, Sexy Commando. The animation parodies in part Akutaro Daishi's animation that he did on Nurse Angel Ririka, and then he uses a whole bunch of those shots again in his current, well, just finished show, DD Fist of the North Star. He uses some of the parodies that again. Okay, over to the panel. Anthony, what do you think of the theme to Sexy Commando?
Excuse me, thought that. I might have to add that to my gym playlist because that's when I sprint around the room. So yeah, I'm going to give this a solid 7. I think that's a good score.
Over to you, Abby.
I think nostalgia in me is playing a little bit of a part in this, not because I watched it like in 1998, but because it was in the anime club that I was in when I went to university, and we watched maybe half of it, something like that, and it's just one of those things like I can't help but think about that when I think about the song and the show. So, purely biased reasons, I'm going to have to give it like an 8, I think.
Okie doke. Over to you, Noah.
Yeah, that song is catchy as all heck. It's a real grower. I haven't seen the show, but it is enough to make me want to watch it, listen to that song every time. I just know how in the video, like you can't see a shot of the band doing the song, but I like how they can just stand by that thing. And
yeah, there was a kind of a dalliance in around that time. I can't remember. There's some other ones from those late night shows where they'd stick the band in.
Yeah, but this is good. As you know, they know it's a pretty solid track, and they understand by it, and they get to actually see them and kind of associate with them as well. And they have kind of like a 2000s era David Bowie look-alike in there. That's pretty good. So yeah, I'll give that an 8 now.
Thank you. Over to you, Leon.
At the beginning, I was like, and then you start to get drawn in. But can't sing along to that. It just goes up and down in the voice every time. Yeah, it is good. It grew in 30 seconds. I'd give it a 6.
Okie doke. Over to you, Greg.
I've never seen Sexy Commando, but I really want to now. I really enjoyed that. That was pretty cool. I want to give it a 7, but I only gave initial D a 6, so I'd have to give it an
Okay.
my logic is I can't give it a 7 if I gave initial D, because initial D is like that much worse.
Okay, Gary. Before we get lost in Greg's logic.
Yeah, I'm already lost. Yeah, it was quite good. Again, I've not actually seen the show, but the intro of the music actually kind of makes me want to watch it. So it's fairly catchy. Like Leon said, I don't think you could sing to it, and I don't think you could dance to it. You could definitely run to it. So I'm going to give it a 7.
Okey-doke. Audience. There goes 7 out. So, Anthony, you want to speak to one of the people who had a red card?
Justify yourself. It's too out of tune. It's just, I'm agreeing with Leon. Like at first, I was like, "What is this?" And then it kind of got interesting, but more because of the animation. If it was just a song, I wouldn't be joining at all.
Fair enough. Okay, next we have Tenchi no Yubikiri by Dynamite. Over to you, Gary.
Not really my cup of tea. Not a huge fan of that sort of chilled out.
Oh yeah, that's the theme tune to His and Her Circumstances.
Yeah, I'll give that a 5.
No.
Yeah, I was being kind.
Okay, Greg.
I like a bit of the Yango file to the song. Yeah, I'm going to agree with Gary on this one. It's just too twee and mellow, and it's all really nice, and I don't like it. I'm going to give it a 3.
The audience are turning on you. Leon.
Right, what the hell is that about?
It's about... what's it about? It's like a romantic comedy, but we have lots of actors.
Can I lower my score for that?
Because like the intro, I thought like I like this sketchy style, and I was like, oh, I was forgiving the song. Then it went all anime on us, and I was like, 4.
Okay. It was the post-Evangelion project from Hideaki
Yeah,
Anno.
you can tell we got deference last time.
Well, he got fed up with it after 17 episodes, and then someone else had to finish it.
Oh, I see.
That was pretty nice though. I did like that. That kind of sticks in my head now. I can imagine myself, just walking around doing the housework and maybe coming nets on the way. It was nice. The singer is kind of warmly quality to her voice. It's kind of appealing to me now. I'll give that a nice 7.
Good. Heavy.
Haven't seen the show. Kind of want to from the animation purely. I think the animation looked pretty good, but the song was a bit not there. I guess
It's got a good, my opinion is it's got a good chorus, but the verses are kind of weak.
Yeah, but I noticed what it also in the previous one, they open up with the chorus and the song first, and that gets you into it immediately, and they do it there as well.
I just don't think it was a very good song. Like, the show might be great, I just don't think the song was there, so I'm going to give it a 4.
Good. Anthony.
Snooze-a-thon. I don't care about the show. Sorry, I know some people get very annoyed by that. But yeah, there was people just, instead of people running around getting hyped, there's just people walking around. It was boring. Yeah, so I'm going to give it a 7.
What?
That's Greg Matt's, not me Matt's.
Okay.
Probably to sleep.
Over to the audience. You wanted to sleep this time of day, so you looked at it. Oh, okay. You've got the Reds have it, so that's 3 out of 10. So someone go and check with one of the Greens.
Give it to me.
Ayacon is kind of a cute anime. I don't know, it's fun, it's nice, it's pretty chill. It's like Lost in Translation. It's relaxing to watch. I wouldn't listen to that if I was reading the manga. I'd just read the manga with my own.
I once borrowed John's Lost in Translation for an inordinate amount of time and never watched it.
Do you know what I asked my mate Bruce, who lives in Wales, if he had it? He sent me a new
No, I haven't got it. I'll give it back to you.
Oh, okay. Well, what? I must have two somewhere, thanks.
Okie doke, yeah, that is that. That is unsurprisingly not in the lead. Okay, our next song is La La La, When You Wish Upon Your Lips by Rico Amore. That's the theme tune to Fancy La La, not to be confused with the earlier, boring Fashion La La. It's part of the Studio Pierrot Vegetable Girl Idol Machine, the lazy part. If you want to be really depressed, just read any Wikipedia page about an idol who had an anime designed to launch her career, and then you see once the anime finishes, their career just disappears. In 2005, the singer was repackaged with a different name and she changed management. She used to use her real name, but then because she changed management, she had to have a new name. And then her career apparently has disappeared again since then. Okay, Anthony, what do you think of that one?
This struck a chord with me. It struck
Have
a
you got
chord
dice?
of anger. This is just everything I dislike about anime. I'm sorry, girls, but I like Ninja Scroll, not fancy rubbish. You know, I'm going to give this. Sorry, I'm going to give this a. Well, one of the numbers is right. It's 2.
Scathing. Ebby.
I don't even know what to say about this. Like, I don't remember this song at all from anything, and I don't know. It's so everything that I don't like about anime. I don't know how else to put it. It's just everything that I don't like about anime is like encompassed in that one opening. So
Tiny cute dinosaurs. Tiny cute dinosaurs.
that's why I'll give it a 2. instead of a
Okay,
1.
give it 2, 1 point for each of the dinosaurs. Okay, Niall.
It's a little too kind of twee and treacly kind of for my taste now, and it's completely at odds with what you see as well, because you see her turn to the sexy, hot idol lady. She's recording a CD and getting an edgy new makeover. So it didn't really resonate with me at all. I just give that a 3 myself.
Okay, Leon. Is this more your taste?
Brian, you open a Cowboy Bebop and then 98. First like American Godzilla, now that. One thing though, I was sort of nostalgic for that animation style. Very 90s, but fuck that shit. 1.
Okay, Greg.
I'm going to give it a 2. Mainly because, well, exactly because it is everything I hate about anime. Yeah, that's probably all I can say about it.
Okay. Gary?
I want to be different to everybody else, but yeah, it's definitely not my cup of tea. The one good thing about it is watching stuff like that, or seeing stuff like that, then makes me appreciate the anime. I like it that much more.
It made me appreciate Gem, that we had Gem.
Gem and the holograms.
Yeah.
That was infinitely better.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Look at that.
Exactly.
Who's the audience? I'm sure there's special show.
I didn't give a score.
Start.
Brian, my score's 1.
Okay. Okay, we've got from the audience 1, 2, 3, 6 out of 10 for the audience.
Can we change the audience, please?
No, you're all going to speak to one of the Greens.
Okay. You had a
A
green.
dissenting voice.
Oh, he wanted to say it to me and his hand around.
Well, 1, that was a good introduction, and then you open with the name of the show right from start. 2, it was cute at a time when cute was saleable. 3, you're not ever going to get it out of your fucking head. So yeah, I've danced to worse. I've danced much worse at Anime Cosmic Party. So I might listen to it again.
Okay. Okay, on to our next one, which is Duvet by Boa. Yeah, that's Pioneers post-Evangelion TV show Serial Experiments Lane. Music's by the UK act Boa, who were mainly made up of kids from old rockers, and apparently they're still going. Who knew? I bought the soundtrack just for that song. Over to you, Gavin.
First off, absolutely love Lane as a series. And that intro, there's definitely the nostalgia, there's the whole kind of hearing it reminding me of the series kind of thing. But also that sort of music is definitely the sort of thing I've listened to. It's kind of music I put on in the car, kind of driving to work and back when I don't want to be dancing my head off or rocking my head off. I'm going to give that a solid 9 out of 10.
Okie doke. Over to you, Greg.
I was going to say, if Nutty and Broody was anime. No, I give it an 8. I quite like that. That's more than my alley. Give it an 8.
Okie doke. Over to you, Leon.
And Goosebumps when that was on. Just reminds me of watching the show for the first time. But it's on Blu-ray now. It's really good.
In America, yes.
Very good quality. But yeah, that music is very much of its time as well. Yeah, 9.
Okie doke. Niall.
Yeah, and that song makes me kind of sad now because the director, he passed away recently. It's a bit unfortunate for sure in his life. But yeah, that's very, very good. That song was enough to get me to buy an album. They have an album called The Race of 1,000 Candles, so if people enjoy that song, they got a lot more on the album as well. Very, very catchy. Have you seen the video for their actual own video that they did for it?
No.
It's very, very badly shot. It's basically them hanging out on the roof of an apartment building doing everyday things like eating lunch, hoovering, fencing.
Oh, actually, now you describe it. Yes, I have seen it.
I don't do that shot where they're leaning against the wall, that being like cool band, TM. But yeah, it was enough to get me to buy an album, so I'm going to give that a nice 9.
Okie doke. Oh, Cannibal Bebop's been threatened here. Ebby.
I'm about to say, this is going to be a thing with me. I've never seen the show. So I've got no attachment to like the song or anything.
Did that make you want to watch it?
Yeah, absolutely. Is it at the Bring Bike? Because I might have to try and find
Yes. So what's her offload on myself?
I really want to watch that show now. It just looks so my thing. So I'm going to give that an 8.
Okie doke. Anthony.
Surely because it's threatening Cowboy Bebop.
0.
I'm not giving it a 0, but I think it was a bit dull. I've never seen the show and I don't want to watch the show now. I want to see it. I used to want to watch it, but I'm going to give it a 3.
You remember we're sharing a room,
Ascension
right?
in the ranks, right?
Audience.
I called you brother, ask you.
Oh, we've got 7 there, so you want to ask one of the Reds, Anthony, why they agree with you?
I just thought it was Pesh. Like, I thought I was going to fall asleep during it. Like, what the fuck is that? Made me angry.
Okay, right. Now we have the most nude of 1998's theme tune. That's In My Dream by Eri Shinyoji, arranged by Yoko Kanno for the for the sort of Tomino's Not on the Reaction to Evangelion Honest Girl show that is known as Brain Powered. I'm assuming that you wanted to make sure you weren't trying to think of the characters naked while watching the show by just going, here they are naked now, get it out of the way, watch my show.
I like Becky's thing.
Okie dokie, Anthony.
I'm sure I had a dream like that last night. I didn't even realise there was a song in the background. I was just, oh, jeez Louise. I really like the song though, it's nice. Visuals aids that, but I'm going to give it a 6.
Okay, Ellie.
I don't know how to feel about this. There are a lot of naked women.
That is correct.
That is interesting, but not my thing, I guess.
Well, the show has no naked women in it.
Oh, so
The only naked women in it are at the starting credits.
I wouldn't have gotten that impression from that opening. I would have gotten
It's so you're a
all the
fake
time.
false bill of goods.
No, I couldn't help but notice there was one of them that had like the best abs ever. I'm gonna give this a 5. It wasn't
Okey-doke.
great.
Niall.
I would have loved to be in like the editing suite when we were right next to this because it must have got something like kind of boss and it must be like classy, like the intro to a James Bond film. Okay, here you go. Aren't you normally silhouettes? What's a silhouette? And as a result, it kind of scratched from the song. Well, it kind of gets into it when it gets to the chorus of it. So put it right in the middle of it, put a 5 there.
Okey-doke. Leon.
See, that intro is one of the ones where, you know when you're trying to get someone into anime who doesn't watch anime, like, no, it's not like hentai stuff, it's not naked women, it's just, actually a quality show, and that comes on like. So happy that's not the intro to Cowboy Bebop. Such a barrier. But no, I actually quite like the song, but like as Niall was saying, it takes too long to start up. So I'll say about 6.
Okay, doke. Greg.
All I can imagine is that somewhere there was a competition, so they got a load of postcards out. A picture I see was like squeeze a naked woman onto that. It was a 7. It was tits. It was a 7.
Liking the pun. Gary.
I'm with Niall and Leon. The actual song's not bad. It does take a little while to get going, and it's pretty good, but the video does distract from it. When I first saw this, I kind of thought I'd stumbled onto an ASCII playlist. I'm going to give it a 6.
Righty-ho, I think. And the audience. Oh, 8 from the audience. Bunch of perverts.
It's a pretty good song, come on.
Go ask one of the Reds.
Red, who's red?
I've forgotten it already. Fair enough. In the time it took actually to walk over.
That's the song.
I don't know. That's what I heard. Righty-ho. Okay, now everyone's favourite song. Someday Let's Go Together by Rub Down. Yeah, from Super Yo-Yo, which is based on a manga by Takashi Hashiguchi, this guy who went on to do Yakitate Japan.
Which is amazing. How the fuck
that's the Chinese
that shit?
version of it. The music's still the Japanese version, but it's Chinese. Because for some reason it's really difficult to find the clips of the actual theme. But because when you look for it, all you get is people taking the opening to other anime and giving it that music. I don't know why that is a meme, but it is. Okay, Anthony, Super Yo-Yo's theme.
I love that. I don't know what they were doing, but I used to be a yo-yo guy, and just nostalgia. So yeah, I'm gonna give that a 9.
What were your tricks?
Just up and down.
That was awesome. I really liked that, but it sort of reminded me a little bit of, I don't know, I wish this had been brought out over here, so it would have been one of those things I'd watched, like Beyblade. For some reason really reminded me of Beyblade, and I love that show, so. I'm going to give that an 8. I really like that.
Okay. Niall.
But Brian, I'm just going to tell you, I don't give a damn. Yeah, that's pretty weird now. I did enjoy it in the breakdowns. It's like the guys doing tricks. I'm going to say that. Check it out, Cat's Cradle, right here. But there's some pretty good English in there, like I'm like out of your mind, they said. So I'm just trying to that alone. I'll give it like let's say a 7. A good number.
Okay, Leon.
I do like a good bit of yo-yo porn, but pretty cool. But some of those intros where they spend like 10 seconds with the characters doing nothing and slowly it comes. No, he's just against the wall and then.
Oh,
he's a moody yo-yo man.
Serious business.
While they pace in the action in the intro, it's like, and it's like, shut up.
He snapped a string.
But the actual song, beat and stuff, but I would give it a 4, but I do love a good bit of English, so 6.
Okay. Greg.
That gets a 6 off me. I mean, they can make an anime of anything, really, can't they? If I'd have known there was a cartoon about yo-yos when I liked yo-yos, I think I'd been all over that.
Were you more of a yo-yo man than Anthony was claiming to be? Did you do the tricks?
Well, I could keep the string from knotting. I could do that.
Pro.
I was that pro. No, it had way more. I think it had way more energy than the last rack track. Yeah, no, I enjoyed that. Yeah, it gets a 6 on it.
Okay. And Gary.
Actually echoing what Eddie said, if that had come over instead of Beyblades, I think I'd have got back into yo-yos, despite being 18 at the time. I actually quite like that. My only concern was that surely showing all those yo-yo tricks means they basically spoiled the series in the opening.
I wonder how many kids tried.
Unless they're going to start learning really advanced tricks, like
well, there was a dragon there, so I'm suspecting they may have started summoning dragons with their yo-yo.
I thought the dragon would have caught a string and bounced up and down. I actually used to yo-yo a fair bit, but my only trick I could do around the world with the dog. which I learned from watching the Ninja Turtles live action film. Because I love Michelangelo.
What's your score then?
My score, I'm going to give that a 7.
Okay, over to the audience. Oh, it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 6 green, 4 red. So you want to go ask one of the reds why they hate yo-yos so much?
I don't hate yo-yos, it just sounds exactly the same as every other theme song for every other show which looks like that. It just merges into this kind of bland mess of moody teenage boys doing something with a thing.
Okay, next we have Through the Night by Masahiko Arihachi. Okay, I've never actually seen Outlaw Star because I've always thought it might look like a poor man's Cowboy Bebop. And the fact that they both reference the first series of Lupin III in their OP, that goes further and references Pekka Ostro as well. Does not help this case in my book. But what does the audience think? Gary?
Like you, I actually haven't seen the series. However, watching the intro and listening to the song's right up my alley, and the intro actually looked quite cool, so I might have to go check it out now. Better late than never. I'm going to give it an 8.
Okay. Greg?
It was all hair and acid wash denim, really, wasn't it? That gets an 8 from me. I like that.
Okay. Leon?
I remember watching that on like Toonami or CNX. Yeah. And then just like, I think it was 9 o'clock, and I was like, hyped during the intro. I quite enjoyed Outlaw Star, but I love that intro. That's a solid 9.
Okay. Niall?
This song for me evokes memories of staying up until 1:30 in the morning at a school night to try and see it, because when it was on shown earlier in the day at like 8 p.m, the soaps were on. My parents had to watch those, so I couldn't watch out past staying up till 1 in the morning. But it's good, even being from 98 and all, it sounds kind of older than what it actually is. It's good, and kind of that kind of 1, 2, 3, 4 B's kind of used over and over again. They really kind of stick in your mind. So yeah, it's best. And I give that a 9. I still enjoy that song a lot.
Emmy, how was it?
Well, this is another one that I haven't seen. You said it seemed like a poor man's Cowboy Bebop.
Yes.
I would rather watch that than Cowboy Bebop, I think.
Controversy.
I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing. But no, I just really liked that opening. I thought it was really good, really fun, just better than Cowboy Bebop. I will watch Cowboy Bebop. Please still be my friend. I'll give that a 8.
Okay, Anthony?
A bit anxious. I feel Cowboy Bebop's been threatened on the scholarship. But I'm totally gay for Gene Starwind, because I love Outlaw Star. It's great. It's got cat girls, robots with arms, that you mentioned, everything. But I'm going to give it a 7.
Both robots with arms.
Oh, shit. You knew what I meant.
So you are. But now I've been audience. Fury. Oh, there we go. That line out of 10. After I asked John why he dislikes it so much.
You protected Bebop.
Absolutely, I'm protecting Bebop. No, seriously, but meh. I think they played that at 99 in the video games, and I had the choice of that or Cowboy Bebop. And I was 19 at the time, so I was obviously a cooler older kid, so I went to see Bebop.
Respect that man.
Okay, we've got one more left, and currently Cowboy Bebop is still in the lead. 64. That one is second with 58, and Lane is third with 53. So, in 1998, as well as anime exploding in Japan with the late night slots getting more and more, meaning more and more anime had to be produced, and it also, one show broke big in America, and it had its own theme tune. Battle to decide all Pokemon versus Cowboy Bebop. Did you catch them all in 1990? Wait, 1999.
I challenge any grown man not to cry at that theme.
Challenge accepted.
Seriously, I felt it here. That is just perfect. I'm going to give it a 10. I'm not going to dodge it. 10, bang.
That is my childhood in song. 10.
Yeah, that's a little dose of cheese right there. Have you ever seen the original intro of anybody?
Yeah.
That does not compare the least, does it? No, not at all. That being said, though, I'm getting kind of tired of that song, to be perfectly honest, because maybe it's just going to too many cons and hearing too much. But, you know, just kind of marking it for, like, depreciation, I'll give it, like, 7.
Okay. Leon.
See, that's one of those songs, man, you'd be tired of that. Like, whenever I hear it, like, I'll be anywhere, I can't whatever. Ordering a drink, like, how can I have a jig? And it starts kind of like, and I'm just, wait a minute. You can't not start singing along. You cannot start singing along. 10. Sorry, Carl people. 10.
Greg.
Wish I had my baseball cap so I could turn it backwards and show you how much business I'm that is getting a 10. There's no budget. It's just perfect in every single way.
Gary.
I'm probably one of those odd people that completely miss the Pokemon craze.
Go home.
I'll just get me going. However, unlike Askew, I'm not going to be bitter and give it a 1 to say Bebop. I'm going to give it a solid 7.
Okay, well, it still can win. Depends what the audience give it.
And you make a green one.
Oh, it is 6 out of 10 from the audience. Speak to one of the Reds to find out why they killed Pokemon's chances of winning.
Prepare the gallows.
These people don't represent all of us.
I am Spartacus. Order in the courtroom.
Yes, so that is. We now know what the greatest anime song of 1998 is. If anyone ever asks you, you can say you were here, and it was decided, as there is no more arguments. Tagged by the seatbelts. Yay! Okay, well, we've got some time to kill.
You missed out on the song.
I've missed out loads of songs. They all were eliminated in county regionals.
County regionals has a winning of 1.
Okay, on our podcast we played games. We played one last night on Dynamite, on the Master Extravaganza. Now it's time for the audience to play the game, or rather the people who were in our jury, except for John, who's a friend. He doesn't get a class. Right, bring it out. That's the wing stuff in my hand. Okay. Slideshow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is a game we call When Did People Give a Hoot About? Your hands, the microphone to the. Let's go back row, front row in a circle. So, yeah, that'll do. Okay, so the way we play this game is I give you a name of an anime, and you tell me what year it started in Japan. Okay. If you get it wrong, pass it on to the next person. And then the person who gets the very last one right will get the stuff in my prize bag. Okay.
I was great at this game. I own this game.
So here's the Excel Saga. What year did that start? All these years, by the way, are years in which Ayacon took place. So that's 1998, 1999, 2002, 2003, 2005, 2009, 2011, and this year. Excel Saga, when did that first air in Japan?
99.
You are correct, you hang on to the game. Tokyo magnitude 8.0.
2002.
Incorrect, pass the mic. Tokyo magnitude 8.0.
2000 and... God, I can't remember the years.
An Ayacon happened in the year.
Oh, that's a lot of milk. 2010.
Well, an Ayacon did not happen that year. So pass the mic.
2005?
Incorrect, pass the mic.
Oh,
2004. There was no Ayacon that year. Grab the mic.
Right, something. 2007?
Incorrect then, there wasn't an icon back then.
Forgot my slide.
How many years ago was it? Was it 2008?
No, there was no icon.
2003?
There was an icon that year. You've run out of years now.
2000.
No, there was no icon that year. It's like a...
I've not even seen this.
Does anybody go to Ayacon?
You know what a calendar is? You know what it is,
You are correct. ROG the TV, when did that come out? Which Ayacon?
2011.
Incorrect.
Whoa.
2004.
Look. 99, 2002, 2003, 2005, 2009, 2011, now.
No.
Write them down. 2005.
2003? You are correct. Woo. It was like for Penguin Drum. When did that come out? 2011. You are correct. Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex first gig. 2005? Incorrect.
2002.
You are correct. Silver Spoon.
2013.
You are correct. Bubblegum Crisis 2040.
2040.
That'll be 1999. No, 98.
You are correct. 98. Honey Pony Dash.
2002.
You are incorrect. 2005. You are correct. Penultimate one. Hi, Bunny Red May.
I like Archie Progress.
2009. Incorrect.
Why extremely depressing, as in you will want to sleep over it's extremely depressing.
Incorrect.
Hang on, what years are
You can have 98, 99, 2002, 2003, 2005, 2009, 2011.
2003?
Incorrect.
2002?
You are correct. So, chance to win it all on the very last one.
Go,
Hang on,
go.
you still got control of the game. Now, you still got control of the game. You're in control. You get the guess. The Big O.
Wait,
The
what
first
years
series.
again?
98, 99, 2002, 2003, 2005, 2009, 2011, and today.
Yeah, this is.
2040.
Say 1999 was a year.
1999 is a year, yes.
1999?
You are correct, you've won my prize bag.
This is a lot considering I've only ever seen 4 anime in my entire life.
Well, it's good because some of this isn't anime.
You win the Man with 2 Brains, because I accidentally bought 2 copies of it on eBay.
That's awesome, that's amazing.
The Grudge, because children covered in flour aren't scary. The first 2 volumes of Escaflowne on Region 1. The first volume of His and Her Circumstances on Region 1. And a sealed copy of the first volume of She the Ultimate Weapon, which I got at some free... Was it like Anime All Nighter or something? So I'm passing on things people didn't want back to other people. Okay, that's your lots. Now for the panel and for the audience. Do the panel want to leave and have any last ending remarks?
Can I go back to bed, please?
No. Oh, you want to know about my Twitter? Okay, yes, if you want to hear more of this nonsense from me and he, dynamiteinthebrain.com is our podcast. You can also find it on iTunes or on Facebook. We're everywhere, man. Tumblr even. I'm awesome-engine on Twitter. Anthony, so plug your shit.
On stage right now.
Use the mic.
Ask you on Twitter. And ask you, that's ANTASKEW. And that's all you get.
Ebby, plug
Oh,
your...
we do plugs.
Yes, plugs.
Okay, I'm on YouTube, youtube.com/BizarreJelly5, or on Twitter at BizarreJelly5 as well.
If you want to hear more opinions from me, I have a podcast about cartoons of all varieties, including some anime, called Secret Representative Madness. It's available at secretrepresentativemadness.blogspot.com, also on iTunes.
Yeah.
There. And if you, or indeed didn't like me, you can write all complaints to my Twitter at Nicholas Cage. That is NIALLCOLAS_Cage.
And I recommend episode 50 because I'm on it, where we talk about Peppa Pig.
If you want to follow me, not talk about not making games, then it's Leon Everett, LeonEvere on Twitter.
If you like pictures of Godzilla eating trains like sausage links. Go to Twitter and look for @Bato. That's the @ BATTOU.
How can I follow that? My Twitter is incredibly boring. It's basically me talking about Mega Man a lot, retweeting CM Punk. It's Gary Hedges. It's @Gary Hedges. It's just my name, all one word.
Okay, that's your lot. Hang around and go to the next podcast, which is recorded here, which I think is the UK Anime Network, do they call themselves?
Yes.
There we go, they're up there. There's too many websites with the words UK anime and things together. It gets very confusing. So you put yourself something with no anime in so people can't find it at all, like we did. Right.
Thank you, everybody.